Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is John, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Monday, July the 12th. Troy is traveling today, so I am picking up today's session. Say hello, hit the like button, and give me a quick sound check. All right, great. Thanks, Al. And good morning to you. All right, jumping in to crude oil on the 8-tick momentum bar. This blue trade is it's 4 seconds before our start time, and trade wouldn't have been tradable anyway. The next bar is just 2 seconds beyond that, and just 8 seconds for the next bar, which brings us past our start time, and it never comes back to the entry before hitting money management. So no trade there. So our first trade is the yellow trade here. That trade hits an 11-tick target and stops out for 1 tick. So that's actually a POQ on crude this morning. Just an 11-tick session or 12-tick session, nothing to write home about. $120. But we move on to the next session. Unleaded has been having a little bit tougher time of it this morning. We have the same thing. This blue trade happens before our start time, and a quick pop up right up to the money management level, so no trade. The shorts filtered by the squeeze zone. Then we pick up a long trade here. The yellow trade just barely triggers in and then goes for a full stop. So that's a 42-tick risk, 84 ticks on 2 positions on that loss. Long setup, no trigger. Good morning, Pamela. Good morning, Amanda. And for those trading the SMA, the diamond level trades, the dark blue SMA trade, just barely triggers in there. And it was a slow bar, so I wasn't watching exactly, so it may or may not have been tradable at that point, although it did come down and hit the entry again over here, so that would certainly have been a get in sync. And then we come back up, we get a stop and reverse long at posted 66, so 4-tick stop and reverse for unleaded would take it to 70 and key level to 71. That did hit money management, and the 62-tick target 2. We're down 188, so that brings us 126 down yet, and we are trailing on that one with the stop at 27.12. So we'll continue to follow that. We're just about, in fact, the market just opened. And there's another trade, and then the short on the YM. Was that too fast to catch? That sure looked quick. 50 to, oops, 48, yeah, 2 seconds. Okay, there's a get in sync. So we are short on the YM. Did pull back after a quick pop through, so we are short on the YM. We had just a pop through. Russell came down to a short. The long just ticked it through and came back down. I would say that one probably was avoidable. And the YM hitting money management and target. Target 1 for 39 ticks. So the YM will be one and done. $65.9 on the Russell short. That's also a 39 tick target 1. I would take target 1 on that one. That's a big enough trade that target 1 is certainly a reasonable place to take profit. On the 1.5 point momentum bar, but that's still got a lot of noise. Got some noise to start off with, so you may have had a couple of losers. Possibly both of those were avoidable. That's too fast to trade. YM stopped out, so that the YM session is complete. And crude with a short. 73.59. That's a big trade. Target 1, that's not big. It just looks big because we've got fairly low range this morning. 17 tick target 1, 28 tick target 2. And triggering in. So crude is short. If you weren't POQ on the initial trade, okay, what did we get on the unleaded stop? Target 2 was 62 ticks at 27.28, and we stopped out at 27.24, so that would be 58. So that's 120 of the 188. We're down 68 and long again from 736, it looks like. 27.37. What did soybeans do with us this morning? All right. Soybeans. actually was get in sync to this trade, and this would actually be your trade, the add-on short here, because that was the newer setup. And that goes targets 1, 2, and 3. And you can pick up the trailer from the earlier trade at 13. Yep, at 13.30 even, and that's where it stops out. So target 1 and out on the active trade or the add-on. It picked up all 3 targets, and a target 1 for the trailer. So one and done there, whichever way you traded it. Oh my goodness, the YM with a powerful long trade, but we are done on the YM. Already POQ there. And the Russell with a successful long if you needed that, if you're trading that and needed it. And now we come back with a short if necessary. Russell's in a dangerous place right now. You got all 3 moving averages right there together. Crude looking like it's pushing down toward its target, toward its money management and target. All right, trade today has picked up a long trade that's hit target on my chart. The long trade, which actually set up before mine, the long trade actually set up down here at lot for trade today at 58, which is right down here. So a little bit different data there, and my data pushed it up into the squeeze zone, so it's filtered. So I am still flat on the pound Aussie this morning. Trade today actually is going to have a one and done session. And the Russell successful on the short, at least hitting money management. And the YM trade, long trade, stopped out now. Bang, bang price action this morning. Yes, we are POQ on crude off of that little yellow trade this morning. Trade today having hit target 3 on its trade. And unleaded picking up a second full stop here. 43 ticks. That's another 86, and 68 is 152 down. That was trade number 4. So two more potential trades on unleaded. And it looks like the Russell, did it get within one? Target 2 was 62.6, and it got as low as, yep, got within 1. So I would have protected it at target 1, certainly. So pick up 21 ticks. $22 with the 1 tick break even on the trailer. And the Russell with the long. So back and forth action on the Russell this morning. YM with a break even, but it is long since done. It was POQ on the very first trade, and then had this big winning long. So successful trades this morning, and back and forth action. Good volatility to work with. And stop and reverse on the Russell. And stop and reverse back to long on the Russell. A little noise going on right there. And a long trade for unleaded. Moving quickly. Entry at 26.93. Money management at 45. And target at 82. With the stop at 24. So POQ on crude and the YM. Crude, the YM, and soybeans. All getting done in one this morning. My chart has given no trades this morning on the pound Aussie, and the Russell has been kind of back and forth. I think we've got the Russell is in it's possibly its last trade if you miss those first two quick back and forth trades early. If you miss those, you actually you went. If you missed those, you went POQ because you picked up this one. Yeah. Now you got a partial there. Got a couple of ticks. Actually, you got that one would have been one I would have taken target one. So you can get 39 plus 2, it looks like, or maybe more. 65.6 from. So you got 3. So 42 ticks and a one and done if you didn't get into those first two trades. If you did, you ended up with a losing session on 6 trades. I think you got close to being back because you had the winning short, you had a winning long. That was worth 29. That was worth 50, 60 plus. No, I'm sorry. 29, and let's see, we were target one was worth 19 and was at 66.3 and stopped out at 66.4. So 20 and 29, so 49 ticks on the long, 42 on the short. So if you avoided one of those two trades, actually you were just, if you avoided one, you either were POQ after a second winner or the third. So you should have been POQ after the short trade. No matter what. So the Russell did get POQ this morning. Just had to work a little more for it. So done across the top. Soybeans is done. Unleaded is still unleaded, and the pound Aussie are our only active charts right now. A stop and reverse on unleaded at 84. Still in the unleaded long at the moment. And we're down 152 ticks at the moment on unleaded. Through 4 trades. And let's check in on the okay, there is a long setup on the micro ES for the 8:35 session. Set up at 8:45 and has triggered in now. And unleaded did trigger short. It stopped and reversed to short. Okay, on this micro ES trade, we got a spike down there just a couple of bars before down, 2 ticks below the stop. So I would go ahead and move that a point. That stop is at 55.25, so I'd make it 54.25 initially. Let the 50 come up through there. So that's what that trade looks like. Money management hit on the unleaded trade, getting very close to target 2. $26.33, and we've gotten as low as 37. Stop currently at 86. Micro ES is going to have to push up through its session high, but it seems to be on a fairly strong uptrend this morning. The YM definitely showing a upward trend. We will see if that continues. Nice little move up there into the 10 o'clock bar. Pulling back, testing a little bit, it looks like. Questions, anybody? Not a great deal to talk about right now. Crude currently in a short trade that had gone too far for that to be a get in sync for the 10 a.m. session. And unleaded pushing through target 2. So we're down 152, picked up a 56 tick target. So down 96 at the moment. And our stop now at 26.61. And Micro ES getting within 1 tick of its session high. It looks like it might actually have touched the session high. Yes, it did. So now the task is to break through there. If we can see if we can get up to 67.75 for our first target. And unleaded stopping out at 26.51. That's a 20 tick. Actually, we only had 52 on target 2, so we're down 100. Uh, 84 to 51 is 33. So we're down 67. And actually we lost a few more here. They lost from 93 to 84. So we lost 18 ticks. So we're down 170. We're down 85. Whoops, and that was 5. So that we're down 85, and that was 6 trades. So we are not taking this long trade. And the Micro ES grinding higher, moving the session high up 2 points. Or is it just 1 point? Maybe it's just, yeah, it was moving up 1 point. We need another 1.25 points on top of that to get to our target. And still nothing on my chart on the pound Aussie. Traded day stop should be at 85.57 at the moment. Putting it just down almost a pip below the 200 EMA, or at least the 200 EMA on my chart. The 200 has to be up a little higher on traded day. Well, no, not. It doesn't have to be, but just a little bit higher. But I would say very likely make sure you have the stop below the 200 at this point. And yeah, of course, traded day you don't know where that is. Micro ES getting within 1 tick of target. And again, It just touched the target. This is where you're having to trade through on the ES is more common. One of the reasons the ES tends to be a little tougher sometimes. And there is target. Filling on the micro ES. So bring the stop to, make sure that entered on the entry. $62.25, yeah. So bring stop to $62.50. And there is a long trade on my chart for the pound Aussie. And trade today moves stop to 55.9, 85.59. Actually, yeah, that's where the stop would have been from the break even. Okay, 10 a.m. crude session. In the long, hitting money management, but not hitting target at 73.65. So our stop now at 73.48. And it's a good place to hide it below the 50-cent level and the 50 EMA and hope those provide support. So that will be a POQ session on the 835 Catapult ES or Micro ES session. Need another 2.5 points from the session high to get to target 2. The pound Halsey still hasn't triggered in. 10-tick target 2, so that will become our money management at 85.81 minimum target. But only when filled, and 2 positions will come off of there. All right, our stop on crude has come up to 73.49. I actually would probably keep it at 48, just keep it a tick below the bar, that last bar. Because we've had 2 excursions down to 49. We've actually had 1 to 48. Amongst this noise, or amongst the back and forth between the 50 and the 200. And there's a move through target 1 for crude, so that is a POQ for the 10 a.m. session. That's the trade that we're looking at. Target 1 was 19 ticks. So 17 plus, what was it? Go back here to our initial, no, 11 plus 1, 12 ticks on our morning session, on the 9 a.m. session. 17 now plus stop at 54. On the 10 a.m. session, all right. Pricing has slowed down. Price movement, anyway, has slowed down a bit after 10 o'clock. Not as many bars printing. And the ES, micro ES, trying to make another push upward, setting a new session high at 68.75. 2 more points to the next target. 8 ticks for the quarter point tick market. Everybody's quiet this morning. YM also pushing the new session highs, just moved it just a tick or two. Looks like at 10:25, the stop will. Well, no, not necessarily. It depends on if it stays up at the price level where it is. You may start moving the stop up on at the close of this bar at 10:25, or actually 9:25 Eastern or Central rather. Micro ES exchange time is Central time. It's traded out of Chicago. And the YM setting new session highs again. As is the micro ES, picking up a tick. And our stops have moved up to 43.63 even on the micro ES, moving up a couple of ticks. And making another push upward on the micro ES, 69.75 now. 1 point away, just 4 ticks. Another 2+ minutes. And Kevin reporting that the pound Aussie hit the trailing stop at 85.59 on trade a day for the pound Aussie. So that completes today's session on the pound Aussie for the trade a day. Small trade, getting 3 targets. And the last 2 positions coming off on the trailer. Well, okay, I understand what happened with that, Don. Oh, well, wait a minute. Oh, you had the long and short entries. What that Awanda won't. Nothing will happen if you exceed your margin requirements until the trade actually attempts to execute. So what happened is the position size calculated exceeded Awanda's margin limits for your account. So it's typically for the pound pairs, it's 20 to 1. And then, of course, you have to put in the conversion from pounds. Actually, from the Australian dollar to the U.S. dollar. One tick away from target. So I would definitely move the stop on that position to at least target 1. And target filled. So 2 targets on the Catapult Micro ES now. They're not 50 to 1 on all pairs, Ari. They're actually 20 to 1 on the pound pairs. The reason the lot size was larger, Don, is because it was a very small trade. So it was trying to get to the 2%, and what happened is the 2%, because of how small the risk on this trade was larger than your margin, account margin for the trade. So you have to kind of watch both pieces. What I do is I actually look at the margin calculator on, I believe it's, investing.com, and you can find their margin calculator. And what you can do is go in and look at what, first thing in the morning before that starts, is look at what your maximum trade size would be. So you may, if it's a very, and that's only going to happen when it's a very small trade. I find is typically about 1 to 20 for the pound.